This program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host, and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Hey, once again, we bid you hello from the Fletch Nation, coming to you from the Old School Barbecue Smokehouse in Baton Rouge. As we record this program, it is the last day of May in 2023, with 9 days left in the 2023 legislature.
This year is moving, huh?
Yes, it is.
Man. Kevin, there's a lot of, I got an array of, an assortment of idiocy and stupidity that we need to discuss. But I guess we have to get to the big story, which is the debt limit. They passed.
Amazing. Yeah, I thought that this time they weren't going to do it, and the U.S. was really going to go. Didn't you think so? That this time,
let me say,
they were really going to go. You know.
And let me say this: Rasmussen's poll on this issue said the American public, by about 57%, didn't care if they shut it down or not because they wanted the spending cut.
Yep.
So the argument now becomes, oh, well, is this a good deal or a bad deal? It's not a good deal or a bad deal. It's a deal. And no deal is good or bad.
Especially on Capitol Hill, I don't think.
On Capitol Hill. I mean, you lose some, you gain some. You lose some, you gain some. And this thing's going to pass because that's what it's going to happen. The Republicans, the majority of the Republicans will join with maybe a minority of the Democrats to pass this. Okay.
Well, I've noticed that right now McCarthy and the minority leader, Congressman Jeffries, are pretty much in lockstep on selling this thing.
They're on lockstep, and which kind of raises an antenna for me, but that's beside the point. Now, out of this debt limit, what are we getting? Well, in the next, I think this goes through 25. In the next 2 years, we get 4.4 trillion more in debt. What exactly? I thought this was a debt limit bill. What debt did it limit? $4.4 trillion is not exactly a debt. Is that a limit?
Yep.
Could I have that limit?
By the way,
I'd like to have that on my credit card.
Right now on the debt clock, your share of that debt as a taxpayer is about $248,000.
How much?
About $248,000. That's your share as a taxpayer.
Which means,
if you break it down to citizens, which we know that not all citizens are taxpayers,
right,
it's only about $95,000.
Oh, for all
only
citizens?
About $95,000.
So the point,
2 years' salary
point
for
you're
the average
making
person.
in a nice way, Kevin, is this is never going to get paid or anything else. You know, there's this argument in the state that about the debt in the state and paying off the debt, you know, instead of spending the money on other things. Well, the truth is that with the way the federal government's acting, why are we concerned about our debt? I mean,
it's good. One can hardly say we have a great role models, a group of great role models in the Capitol.
There is about 100, and I think I read this, I think of the number, around $150 trillion in public debt in America.
Wow.
$150 trillion. That's not just the federal debt.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
That's not just the federal debt. That's all state debt and all that.
Incredible.
So the politics of it is, in the Republican Party, is who gets to the right. Mm-hmm. And DeSantis decided that he would go get to the right, and he trashed the McCarthy-Biden debt limit deal, and it says it puts you as careening toward bankruptcy. I think he's probably right. But we've been careening toward bankruptcy for
What?
20 years?
Longer than that, I think.
I'm sure it is.
I remember debt and default arguments going on back into the Bush
the
years.
80s? Yeah, at least the Bush years. Yeah. So we're not going to default. That's what we're not going to.
Never
do.
happens.
We're not going to default, and that's about all you can say. That's what they did. They didn't default.
I've seen
what did we get out of this? They didn't default.
Yeah.
That's all we got out of it.
Yep.
And that would have sent the world probably into an economic tailspin. But the fact of the matter is, the American public, at least those people that are voters, likely voters, said we don't care.
There are, as I understand it, some spending cuts in the deal, but they are not so significant as to even slightly offset the increased spending that's going to occur.
Instead of 87,000 IRS agents, we're going to have 85,585. I think that was the cut. So we got all of that going for us, which is a lot, right? Yeah. But I think the United States government is probably better than Anheuser-Busch right now, or Target.
Oh my God, just numbers since the Memorial Day weekend with Anheuser-Busch. The money they lost just over the holiday weekend alone.
Is a disaster.
Amazing.
And Target now is on the line for about $12 billion lost so far in stock prices.
Target, in my opinion, if you're familiar with any of the details about why people are upset with Target for their wokeness, it's a little more nefarious in my mind, because Target is marketing merchandise that's not only pro-LGBT, but it's also pro-Satanism.
Yeah,
and when you mix those two together, it tends to make people really not react well.
The designer, I think one of the designers is an avowed Satanist.
Yeah, it's like Satan Loves Gay or something is on the logo.
I mean, where do these people come from? I mean, do they think, I guess they think they can just do whatever they wish.
Well, I just think that...
and people will buy it. Well, you can't. That's not what the market is. People are going to buy what they want to buy. I
think these marketing decisions are made by mid-level people. The people at the top are unaware of what goes on, and then they see, social media blow up, and they're going, what do they mad at us for?
Well, you want to know something?
We did what?
I disagree with it. I think what's happened is there's been a lot of people, a lot of companies, DEI,
diversity, equity, inclusion.
Officers in companies have hired a lot of executives that are woke.
There are, by the way, federal
care.
Incentives for going DEI.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I just think that this is not mid-level people doing this, because you think what most mid-level people, they trying to make a living, right?
Okay, can I rephrase it?
Yeah.
They hang it on somebody mid-level so they don't have to take the ultimate ride.
That, my friend, is where you at. That's where you at. That is exactly what I think too.
Middle management sucks.
Yeah, let's roll it right on Charlie down there. The head of the Miller Lite division for Cincinnati.
Yep.
Charlie did it. That's who did. But that's a mess. They got a mess at Anheuser-Busch. And they're not going to recover from
10% market share is a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money.
And Target's not going to recover it. And now I hear that maybe, what's the Chick-fil-A? They may be a target now of a boycott. They have DEI officers in the company and do it. And there's some, the more vociferous people don't like that.
So they don't like a Christian family-based company that is DEI.
No, that's right. So anyway, we'll be right back with that insightful comment.
3 minutes.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
You could be driving a...
Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Hey, thanks for joining us for Fletch Nation. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about the debt limit deal that has been reached between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and his team of negotiators, which includes Louisiana District 6 Congressman Garrett Graves.
So there you go.
But the chore is now McCarthy and Graves and others and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries have to sell this to the membership.
Yeah.
And same thing on the Senate.
We just saw a headline on just a moment ago on TV, on the monitor to our right, that 30 Republicans plan to vote against the debt deal. Well, that's a lot of votes against it, except you're going to have a bunch of Democrats vote for it too, and a majority of the Republicans probably vote for it.
See, both party leaders and the House Speaker are urging their members, no matter what party, say vote, do it, vote.
This is a stupid game we play every couple of years.
Well, what's going on that we're not supposed to be paying attention to right now, Roy?
And that seems to me always to be the question, don't it? Mm-hmm. What is going on that we shouldn't be we should not pay attention to? And I don't know, but you know, there's just a lot of strange things going on. And today I kind of was going through the headlines and stuff, and I was like, well, all of this is strange. For example, Al Pacino, 83, having a child. Robert De Niro, 79, having a child. Babies, little ones, look, not going to adopt one, having a child. They
fathering a baby.
Fathering babies, yeah. Okay.
Did they have like science?
What? I mean, I was like,
no disrespect, gentlemen, but come on, damn.
You know, The Godfather is tough, huh? I mean, he's tough.
They keep pulling me back in. Has a whole new meaning when you think about it now.
So at one of our esteemed law schools in the country this week, a woman made the graduation speech at CCNY. That's the City University of New York, right? Law school. And she basically got up and said, I forget her name, but I think it was Muhammad something or whatever. And she got up and said, the Jews are terrible and America's terrible. Okay. I mean, that was the whole speech. And interestingly enough,
of course,
this is interesting. CCUNY denounced her and condemned her law school anti-American and anti-Israel commencement address as hate speech.
What is going on at CUNY?
I don't know.
Dude, that's a progressive enclave there.
Well, yes. I mean, that's in the heart of New York.
That's a very progressive school.
In the heart of New York. And they had to denounce it. I personally think that some people that give money to the school might have got on the phone. Rothstein and the rest of them got on the phone and explained that you won't be getting any money anymore.
If we Jews are all so terrible, we'll just close up the page of the
That's
checkbook.
exactly what we're going to do.
My Lord!
Oh yeah, it was an interesting response. I did not expect that. I read a story about what she had done, this lady, and I was thinking, well, that'll go by. Nobody will say a word about it. No, not this time. Which kind of takes you back to Anheuser-Busch and Target, and suddenly CUNY says, no, hell no. It kind of makes me think that maybe what we're starting to see here is a reaction of substantial proportions to sort of the different lifestyles and different things that people are trying to promote in the country, if you follow.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's the lifestyles or the agendas. It's that they're so radical.
Well, yeah, that's
and I don't think a lot of people like having stuff poked in their face.
In their face.
Right.
No.
Right.
And I think that's the whole point of it. But it's very interesting that kind of happened.
Wow.
The other big story this week was Christopher Wray being told, the head of the FBI, being told that he's going to be held in contempt of Congress. And what is that all about? That is about the document that the whistleblower in the FBI said to Chuck Grassley, the senator from Iowa, and James Comer, and Jim Jordan, told them that there is a document in the FBI that details the kickback scumbag operation that the Bidens are running with respect to foreign countries, so on and so forth.
So in other words, some agent or agents filed a report.
Yes, I think it's 203. I can't remember what it was called, but so the Comer and his committee wanted that document, obviously for obvious reasons, because they have all the bank records now, and they're going, well, gee, there's a whole lot of money going to the Biden family, and we'd like to know what. Well, this guy said, yeah, well, they got it over there. They can tell you what it is. Well, Wray and the FBI refuses to give it. And the reason why they refuse to give it, of course,
it's a matter of national security.
National security, and we will out our human resource.
Our asset.
Yes. And so we're not going to do this. And so Comer said, well, if you're not, they did offer to allow certain people on the committee to come and look at it, like in a room, like with no cameras or anything, so they could read it.
And lucite and 3 feet between you. Stand behind the red rope, please.
He said, oh, we can't, we got to keep this under wrap. I want to know that. I think that's a bogus defense that we're not going to show you this because it's going to out a human resource.
No, yeah, the human resource is the chief executive. That's who it's going to out.
Well, if there is a person that's a human resource that told them certain details, that person needs to be outed. You know where he needs to, or her needs to be outed? In a federal grand jury. Mm-hmm. That person needs to be outed. That person needs to come forward and not go to Congress, but go to a federal grand jury and sit down with a U.S. attorney and 12 of his friends.
This is what I know.
And say, this is what I know. And then they can release the document once he does or she does that. So this is the biggest bogus thing I've ever seen in my life. And it goes back to this notion that any time the American public should know something, national security always trumps it. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's always trumps it. We can't do that. The commies may find out.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Need to know basis, and you don't need to know.
You don't need to know. That's really what it all amounts to. And we're not going to have any kind of transparency in this government, especially when it comes to stealing. I mean, that seems to me to be the way, that's the only way I can read this.
All right, time for us to take another break, take care of some business. Give us 3 minutes, and Fletch Nation will return.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Dignity Memorial can help. Our prepaid funeral plans make sure that your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. At Dignity Memorial, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee Serio at 225-315-6329. That's 315-6329. Dignity Memorial, the peace of mind your family deserves.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Are we we on? There we go. The screen was black for a second there. As we return to Fletch Nation here on Pelican Broadcasting, we want to wish a joyous congratulations to Trina Alario now. Trina Edwards Alario. Does that sound right to you?
That's right.
Trina Edwards, of course, was...
And John Alario.
When the late former Governor Edwin W. Edwards passed away, Trina Edwards, his widow and the father of his child. And on Thursday this week, which is tomorrow from our perspective as we tape this, she ties the knot with the former... He was a House Speaker
of the Senate and
he was
Speaker of the House.
He was House Speaker.
I mean,
one
of the real institutions in Louisiana government for a long, long time.
John Alario. Some people said Alario was one of the reasons we needed term limits, and a lot of people said, no, John Alario is one of the reasons you don't have term limits, because you need people who know what they're doing.
John Alario is, I will say this about him, he's one of the nicest guys I ever met.
Yeah, he's
a good
pleasant
dude.
chap.
He's a nice guy.
I can see where he's not a lovely man, so I can see where he might have charmed Trina Edwards.
Well, okay.
He's not a handsome devil.
Yeah, okay.
That means nothing. He's a nice guy.
I have a really funny story about John Alario.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, way back when I was a kid, I'd just gotten out of graduate school. I was working in the Louisiana legislature, and I worked for the House and Governmental Affairs Committee, which I was the key staff person for, and I had to write amendments to bills and write bills and stuff like that. Well, there was an ethics bill that State Representative Joe Accardo and I had worked on a lot in the interim, and so it came up in our committee during the session. And there was tons of amendments to the bill, and Alario told me to write one, and I did. And John was a new state rep, and I was new. And so I wrote this amendment. Well, about two amendments before his amendment, there was an amendment that was exactly almost identical to his. So I just said, well, you don't need his, and I just walked over to the trash can, threw it in the trash can, came back, got me some water, came back, sit down. So about 20 minutes later, John says,
where's that amendment?
Mr. Fletcher, where's my amendment? I said, excuse me, Mr. Larry? Where's my amendment? I said, let me get it for you. I got up, walked over, pulled it out of the trash can, walked over to it, and handed it to him.
Did he see you pull it out of the trash?
No.
Oh,
it was in front of, he saw me do it. It was in front of everybody. The next day, and the next day in the Picayune was a story. Alario ethics amendment literally pulled from trash can. And every time
I love it.
Every time I see the George Washington of Louisiana, John Alario, we always laugh about that. It was one of those things in life, you know. But it endeared me to him, and I at least it endeared him to me. And he was very, very nice about it, and laughed and didn't even let it. He passed the amendment.
He's one of the few people I can think of that has had places named for him, and that usually waits until after you've left the earth. I mean, people felt strongly enough about him to, you know.
Well, he's
beloved.
He's a real deal. So let's go a couple of more hotspot things around places. We're going to go in one of the segments coming up. We're going to go to the DeSantis-Trump heat up that's going on now. But you can see it's going to get real odd. But so this week and over the weekend, Russia seems to have pounded the Ukraine from the air pretty viciously.
Yeah.
Kiev and also Odessa at the port. They blew up some ships, and in Kiev they used drones and rockets. And the Ukrainian military said it's okay. They sent about 50 of these drones. We shot everything down. Except
the
in
ones
except in the stories that I read in different magazines, different sites, like the Independent out of Britain and the Guardian. They said, well, Kiev was burning and smoking, and so if they missed,
what was burning and smoking?
What was all of that, right? And then they blew up some of. Well, apparently the reason why is that the Russians decided that there's going to be a counteroffensive by Ukraine, and so they just decided to go ahead and waylay the deal. And they blew up some planes and all sorts of things. So,
well, this morning I saw. Now I got to be honest, I was in a rush, so I didn't vet the site. But I saw that there have been reported drone strikes in Moscow.
Yes,
this is being Wednesday the 31st, as I say this.
Today they were drone strikes. If you remember, about a month and a half ago, the Kremlin had an explosion over it at some point, and they thought that was Ukrainian drones that had gone in there to hit it, and they blew it up, and it didn't happen. So that place is seems like we're just gonna grind on over there and keep spending money and people getting killed and just everybody have a big time.
On that topic, though, did you happen to see any of the footage of New York State Representative Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez? She had a town hall in her district.
Oh my God! They practically ran her out of
her constituents tore her a new one. I mean, and they were not polite about it.
No.
And one of the things they said is, "Get us out of this damn war. We don't want to be in this war."
Yeah, they were very, very, very upset over the fact that she had supported the Ukrainian expenditures and war effort. And they were not happy with her, which is kind of interesting. You would think that given how socialist she is, that everybody would be happy with it. But there is obviously an undercurrent out there in this country that this Ukrainian war is not what we bargained for.
Plus, Roy, I think there's a great many unheard Democrat voters out there that like America the way it is, and they don't necessarily buy into progressive socialism. Folks like people's grandparents are still voting Democrat, but they don't like what they see happening.
No, I think it's a different party, and they know it, and that's even going on in New York City. I mean, that's very interesting.
Well, I noticed most of the people I saw in that clip of her getting reamed by her constituents were probably over 45 at least.
Yeah,
so we're talking mature Americans.
Yeah, they were, and they got very arrogant with her too. They were very, very brutal with her, and said some really nasty kind of stuff.
Now the question is, will she take that to heart, or will she just go, peasants?
I think.
And roll.
What do you think?
Peasants.
Peasants. That's what I think. Let them eat cake, Marie. That would be Alexandra.
AOC, as we call it.
Ocasio-Cortez. Marie Antoinette.
Add a couple more hyphens and a couple more names, and we'll take you more seriously.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. It takes a long time to say that, especially if you're a redneck like me.
I just say something really mean about the Congresswoman. Every time I look at her, I see Donkey from the Shrek movies.
Wow.
I don't know why, but every time.
Do you know what, Kevin? That's a really good point. I never really thought about that.
I'm so mean, I swear to God.
That's good. That's good.
I'm going to hell.
Well, let's go.
Time for a break while he answers the phone. More on Fletch Nation coming.
That was good transition. Hello?
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher, and this is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Back once again with Fletch Nation, Roy Fletcher there, and I'm Kevin Gallagher. So glad to have you with us. Whether you're watching us on one of the fine cable systems across South Louisiana, that would be Cox in 3 cities, Lafayette, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, or Allen Cable System, or AT&T U-verse.
Or wherever you're watching.
Or wherever you're watching us. Or on whatever one of the fine radio stations you're listening to us on. Thank you for your time spent with us on Fletch Nation.
Well,
I see you furiously scrolling through your news feed. What you looking for?
Yeah, well, I was just trying to find some more interesting stuff.
I did want to say one thing that I think it's a small thing, but back to the debt ceiling, if you don't mind me harkening back.
Let's go back.
One of the things they did get out of the debt ceiling deal is there was money budgeted, unspent money for COVID.
That's right.
That was going to go offshore.
That's right.
And it's been clawed back. And I think
that is at least something.
That's something. Because you've got to think about the billions wasted on that pandemic.
Yep. And
enough is enough.
And the more and more we hear about it, the more and more we tend to think that perhaps that it was a big fraud.
I don't think the virus itself was ever a fraud. I just think the whole way it was presented to us, controls and mandates, and one of the things I keep coming back to is this: we know now that people who faithfully and obediently got the shots as directed, get your 2, and then come back in 6 and get your booster, and then another 6 and get your booster. Some of them got COVID anyway. Some of them got it bad. Some of them even died even though they were vaccinated. So, at what point is there any consequence for telling people, don't use ivermectin, don't use hydrochloroquine?
There is no consequence.
Or don't use antivirals?
There's no consequence. They were following science. Yeah, right. So by the way, I was at a local health facility this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw so many damn people wearing masks in my life.
Oh yeah.
Folks.
It's still out there. I mean, the crazy is still out there.
What are y'all doing?
Yesterday,
I mean, there were people with the big old penguin noses on.
This being Wednesday the 31st, yesterday in traffic, I saw a grown man my age in his car alone.
With a mask.
With a mask. Alone. Now, you know, I try not to judge, but maybe he's immunocompromised for one reason or another. But when you're in your car alone, one would think you could take your mask off. Wouldn't you?
I would think one would want to take their mask off just to show everybody they could do it.
I only wore those.
That's, I mean, with all due respect,
I only wore those things where I had to. Period. Where I had to.
A little foreign thing. Now, you remember we were talking about the Chinese police in the United States?
Yeah. Wondering why there's Chinese police in the United States?
They kind of. There's a memo that was leaked by a Chinese police official out of a province in China as to what they are doing in a way, and it didn't get much publicity, but I found it, and it was on a legitimate news site. So this is what I was able to discern or understand out of this article, that Chinese fighter jet intercepts U.S. aircraft.
Yeah, sorry, we're watching. We have a news monitor up
that's
during
not,
the show.
I'm glad I'm talking about it now. So here's the deal. The Chinese have apparently a spy operation that uses sort of the notion of Catholic subsidiarity. In other words, at local level. So what happens is, here's the way they work. So this guy is from Province Q. They know what people went to America or was in America from Province Q. They talk to them and get them to tell them things, so on and so forth, and do things, because it's provincial. It's not the CCP, it's the local people.
The local authorities.
Yeah.
So, that's not so insidious.
That's a nice mask, okay? Yeah, but the fact is that it's interesting that they would go to such extremes instead of just doing it straight out. But they don't. I don't think they want to get caught. Pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. And now China not only is our.
Wow. Do you see that number?
Yeah, 400 feet.
It said this Chinese fighter jet came within 400 feet of the U.S. aircraft. 400 feet.
I think they say that the U.S. needs to stop practicing this kind of behavior. Well, of course, the Chinese blame us for what they did.
Yeah.
But it's normal. So
that's what lefties do.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. No, blame them for what you're doing. So anyway, I found that interesting about that whole thing. Now we got about 3 minutes of segments. This is going to run some more than 3.
Well, let's get started.
Yeah. So this weekend, or maybe Monday, Ron DeSantis went to Iowa. Mm-hmm. He's now announced candidate. The announcement was done on Twitter.
It was a disaster.
And it all broke down. But that's neither here nor there. That was Elon Musk's fault, not...
Right.
Okay. So, but anyway, so he goes to Iowa and he makes a speech up there to his people, and had about 700 people there, and he made a speech and he just denounces Trump left and right. And so Trump said, okay, well, he's up in Iowa today. So we're getting ready to have combat. And it's coming. Nothing anybody can do about it. We all knew it was coming. And they got to try to find some way to beat Donald Trump. And here's what's happened. I looked at the numbers the other day. 3 months ago, DeSantis had like a 4-point lead on Trump. Mm-hmm. Today, or at least when I looked at these polls, which was current in the last couple of days, DeSantis was down 28 points to Trump.
Really?
That's how much it's changed in this period of time. Now, the question is, and I think this is the real issue, is that because DeSantis has announced, because he is a candidate, because he is now attacking Trump, will those numbers for Trump float back down, and will DeSantis's go up? I don't know the answer.
Or will it have the opposite effect?
Or will it have the... Well, I don't think DeSantis can lose much more.
I have a thought on my mind, and let me just tease it as we're down to like a minute before commercial, but what if this is all political theater? And what if the objective plan is Trump's the nominee, his running mate is DeSantis, and right now they're... You ever see in the movies where the guys fake a fight to distract the guards so they can get away?
Well, September 1st, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. The pretext is that the Polish army had raided a Nazi radio station near the border, and so they said, what they found out after many years was it was the SS that did it in order to have the pretext for the invasion. So that's what you talk about, right?
Just a little bit of theater.
Yeah, a little bit of theater. So we're going to be back with some final thoughts and a little theater in a moment.
Okay.
Stick with us.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
welcome back. Our final time around here this week on Fletch Nation, and we were just talking before the break about the brewing war.
The brouhaha
between Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis.
The gloves apparently I hate that he calls it now. I hate name calling. It's juvenile. But
it stuck.
Yep, the gloves are apparently coming off.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know exactly what they are, frankly. I mean, DeSantis attacks him for, I can't quite feel, well, he can't win.
Yeah, nobody likes him. He can't win.
Nobody likes him.
Trump says he's Ron DeSanctimonious and he's not ready yet.
No. So that's what the fight's about.
The arguments aren't compelling to me.
They're not compelling at all because DeSantis has, now, he did attack Trump for being, he said it's turning to the left. DeSantis made that claim against Trump. Okay. Yeah, all right. I don't think so. But I'd like to see the proof of it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Now, speaking of that, when we were talking before we came back, we have the gloves have come off in the governor's race.
This is true. I don't know if you've seen it yet or heard it yet. It's, as I understand, a 30-second radio ad from the Stephen Wagisback campaign. Or actually, I think the PAC that is backing Stephen Wagisback.
And it's also an TV ad. I have it on my phone.
It's
I got it
straight-up attack ad against Jeff Landry, though.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that it's on the issue of crime, and that the Attorney General in the state is the reason we have so much crime. That's just about as stupid as I've ever heard of. With all due respect, if you're going to blame anybody, who would you blame?
Judges.
Huh?
Judges. I'm sorry, that's the problem. Judges catch and release.
But even at that, let's say you're going to blame a politician that's not in the judicial system. How about the governor? How about that? And I got a feeling that the Jeff Landry campaign is probably prepared a really nasty little ad with victims of crime saying if it wasn't for Jeff, we wouldn't have got justice. I got a feeling that's coming. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I find...
You mean he'll answer Wags'
and the other thing
attack.
I find amusing is that suddenly Wagisback is concerned about crime when I don't think Lobby has said a damn word except, I believe, they were for criminal justice reform at Lobby. Mm-hmm. Which, in case you forget what that is, that's to let criminals out of jail.
Well, in my time as a talk radio host, I had many conversations with Stephen Wagisback as the head of LABI, and they were concerned with crime from the viewpoint that where we have crime, we have lessened the business opportunity.
Yeah.
So that was why they backed criminal justice reform. But so far, I don't see where any of the criminal justice reforms that have been passed in Louisiana in the last several years have made a hill of beans.
Well, I think it has. I think it's helped create a lot of crime. Okay? Now, I absolutely do, because I think that they were bent on letting people out of jail. Mm-hmm. And serious crimes. And the bail and all of that stuff that went on in the criminal justice reform stuff is I think is absolutely led to open up the cells and let's go, guys.
But I understand why it goes to crime because, and I think that the ad probably predates the survey, but LSU's Public Policy Research Lab, Dr. Mike Henderson and his team, they do an annual Louisiana survey of public opinion. And the poll question is, what is the biggest problem facing you and your family today?
Crime was
top answer. Crime, 61%.
And here's the interesting part about it. I've polled the hell out of it. And what you find is that people, that is a very important issue to them, but is that an issue that drives voters toward one person or the other? That's the question.
That is a good question.
And the problem is that they don't. That's not the fundamental fight in the state. And I think, frankly, I think the first spots were not any good. I think the attack on crime will be a yawner. Okay, I just think that it's not where the state is, right?
Is this another predestined gubernatorial race?
No.
I mean, is it?
There's no race that's ever predestined.
But I mean, everybody says Landry's going to be the guy. And it's going to come down to Landry and then Democrat Sean Wilson.
Is ever predestined. It's just not predestined. The question is, the obligation is as somebody in a race like this, is to find, you got to look deeper than the top issue on the LSU poll. Mm-hmm. You got to go deep to find out what is motivating voters, what is salient to voters, and what is driving them about the particular jurisdiction they're in. Now, the Landry spot that he did on crime initially, I thought was a good spot in the sense that it took on the judges, the DAs. It took those on and said, where they're failing, he's been criticized in New Orleans because he's blamed the DA and LaToya, the mayor down there. Landry has. I mean, he's got a spot down there attacking him on crime. And Clancy Dubois wrote that he was a racist. Wait a minute. You mean you can't say anything about anybody that's black if they're not doing their job? That's not true. That's ridiculous.
No, but that's how you get people to back off, as you call them a racist.
Well, absolutely. But so I think that Landry preempted that issue. The attack here is late. It's there's not been a predicate set for Wagonsback to be. I mean, the spot was done. There was no predicate set on crime. The original, the first couple of image spots, there was no predicate set on crime.
As you said in our interview a couple of weeks ago, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
that's a good guy.
And so all of a sudden he shifts to crime, look, people aren't sophisticated about that, but I can tell you one thing they're sophisticated about. They're sophisticated about TV, because people watch TV all the time. They know more about TV.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know the difference between the campaign ad and the PAC ad.
Well, no, they don't.
And this attack ad is a PAC ad.
It doesn't matter, by the way. It frankly doesn't matter. Because they see it as the same thing, But that's it. We'll be back next week and talk about some more PAC stuff.
No doubt something outrageous will happen between now and then. Take care.
You've been listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, or planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.